Good morning, everybody. Okay,
Hey.
I think everybody's audio should work right from the beginning, which would
Okay.
be wonderful. Let's see here. Okay.
I'm just hoping my video works because
Your video does work. It looks like Junie, you might be a little quiet.
Oh, whoa, really? Oh,
But
okay.
everything else looks good. Jolly Green, the signal is weak here, so your chat only. That seems like a wild way to consume media, and I'm here for it. Okay. It is good to be back, everybody. Happy July. Just the month in general, not any specific day. Welcome to Warlocks and Waffles. A pleasure to have you all here. Today, we have two very special guests on the stream. Why don't you guys go ahead and introduce yourselves. Junie, you're up first.
Hi, still trying to get my lighting set up, but I'm Junie Ruiz. I'm a very nerdy dad, and I am also a snake oil salesman, and I have come prepared with a clipboard of ludicrous ideas.
Oh wow. Okay, so you got some kind of prep sheet. I got
Junie
nothing.
came real prepared.
I was gonna type up like Google Forms and then have like essentially like what do you call it? Feedback surveys. It's like tell me what you think. But I'm also lazy, so I didn't do that part.
It's okay, because neither of us did hardly any prep and are gonna get swept under the rug in this game.
I designed a thing to win a game I do not know the rules to.
It's
I don't
fine.
know what we're doing.
That's actually pretty. That's even more impressive.
I didn't even think about it being a game. I just was
Yeah.
like, oh, it's something about is it content? All right, I'm coming. I just
You're
wrote-
like, I have to prepare for every contingency.
yeah. I wrote things in quotes that are just like that's it.
Okay, so I am Gabriel Mercer, and apparently I am the Robin to Junie Ruiz's Batman in this scenario. This is gonna be really good.
I'm so sorry.
I'm so excited. We have I came up with a game earlier this week, and there was a tiny portion of my brain that was like, this is dumb. I don't want to do this. And then I was like, but wait. What if I got other dumb people to come on the stream and do it with me? Then it would be fun. And when I think of dumb people, I think of you two. So
I
thank you.
like just being thought of. So that really did make me feel better. I was like, oh, somebody thought of me.
I was so excited you guys said yes. The game today is called Is This Content? The rules are simple, the prizes are non-existent, and the glory is forever. The way this game will work is we will go one at a time. We will pitch an idea to the other two. The other two then have a few moments to ask follow-up questions, to which you must then present answers to those questions. After we've gone through and we've done all of this nonsense, we will then take the best ideas, the ideas that we liked the best, the ideas the chat liked the best, and we will flesh them out into more developed content ideas. Can't believe I didn't make the top one of dumb people Hunter knows. Mel, I'm sorry. I know I didn't think about you, and I'm sorry. Next time I'm looking for dumb people, you are top of the list.
The coveted number one spot.
So, who would like to go first? Junie, you have so much prep. It seems wild to have anyone other than you go first.
I have them in like not category. I was gonna put them in a spreadsheet, right? And actually have them in categories. So I have ones that are just, I think, ones that are dope titles, and then I have ones that are like ideas that might work, and then ones that like I wrote it and then went, what? No, that's not a thing at all. So like one of them, I'm gonna hit you with I'm gonna start it off low and we'll go high. In quotes, I just wrote the words butter dice. I don't know what I was thinking when I wrote this, right? I just wrote butter dice. I think the intent was something like rolls have to be done very quickly, but we do something to make it so it's hard to roll.
Oh,
So
okay.
Literally
So like
something to
dice
the effect.
literally made of butter that
Like,
are melting
that
in
would
your
be hilarious.
hands.
That or like we grease your hands beforehand. It's
Oh,
it's a
that'd be very
nightmare.
good too.
But basically, like the dice are all D4s and they're like covered in olive oil. Just something dumb. But if you don't, it just counts as a fail. You know.
Right.
It's one of those things where I was just like, that's really dumb, but I'm gonna write it down anyway.
It's so good. Okay. Butter dice.
Butter dice.
I love
Okay.
that. Gabe, follow-up question?
What if follow-up question?
Yep.
Yeah, we
What
don't know how
if
this is gonna work.
Follow-up question to butter dice?
Yeah, what if in butter dice the dice were very small and you had to roll with oven mitts on?
Yeah, that tracks.
I feel like okay.
That's
I'm
right on brand for this.
I'm feeling that this is a show where it's butter dice. It's called butter dice, but every episode there's like something different about the dice that you're bringing people in for.
Okay.
So like maybe it's oven mitts one time, maybe it's like your hands are just greased up, maybe one time your hands are wrapped together and you have to figure out how to roll with no hands. Yeah,
I've played some of these drinking games before.
yeah, I'm super into this. Okay. Can I pitch you a different name for it instead of
Sure.
butter dice?
Yeah.
Buttered rolls.
Buttered rolls.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
I have a
Okay.
my clipboard has a little compartment for pens and stuff. I was like, "Where's my pen?" Oh, in the pen compartment. Yes.
Excellent.
Evolution.
I love that. That's very very good. Gabe, you're up. Give us your pitch.
What?
Is this content, Gabe?
Okay, so the game is this content?
Yeah.
I'm learning the rules as I go here. The game is this content, and the
So is
idea
Hunter,
to
and he
pitch a
he
show.
came up with this.
That's
Hunter has no idea. Okay.
What you have to understand is the first submission of is this content is the game is this content itself. That's
fair.
my first submission. Is this content?
Is what we're doing
is
content.
currently right now this moment is this content?
Are we switching it back to you? Like, is
No.
This is are we skipping Gabe?
No, this one's already been pitched. It's Gabe, you're up. What's your first show?
Okay, so I have to pitch an idea for a show.
Uh-huh.
Does it have to be food related?
No.
Oh, okay. Well, now I have no idea. No,
That was a requirement that no
I just
one
thought,
else
like,
knew until you
I
said
thought
it.
with the breakfast theme, it made sense. Okay.
No. Yes. Does not have to be food related. Pitch to your
is
wildest
this
dreams.
content Assured dominance. Wow, that's not a game, Mel. How about? Yeah, I got nothing.
Oh man, that is one strike for Gabe.
Yeah, I'll take a strike on this.
Strike system.
I will. I
We're
was not prepared.
we're developing the rules as we go.
Okay.
My
No, wait. I have an unknown penalty. Like
yeah,
that's,
you have a strike.
I just take a strike.
Uh-huh.
Okay, that's fair. That's fair.
You don't wanna- you don't wanna get
be
to
ready.
4.
Be ready when it gets back to you.
I will when it comes back around.
Yeah.
For sure.
If you get 4 strikes, you have to walk.
Oh, that's funny. He's got to switch to his phone, and he's got to literally go around That's,
Yeah, you have to
that's
start.
close
Yeah, I have to go
that's
out
close
in the
to one of
neighborhood,
ideas
join
I
in a
have,
row.
yo.
Join the
That's-
Zoom call from your phone, and you have to keep
like,
walking
okay.
until you come
So
up with a good idea.
I'm in a park.
That's close to one of the ideas I have on my paper.
Oh man, I can't wait to hear it. My first pitch would be a partnership with Mountain Dew and Taco Bell.
Wait, we can use other branded products.
Okay. And it's called the Knights of Baja Blast. And it's really just the whole Tyranny of Dragons storyline. But instead of Bahamut, it's Baja Blast. End of pitch.
Bahamut Blast.
Yeah, no, just Baja Blast. Yeah, that's the whole pitch. You're just
Well, what if it
playing
was-
Tyranny of
Yeah.
Dragons, but the entire time you are Knights of Baja Blast, and each character would have to be themed after a different Taco Bell menu item.
Ooh.
Oh. No.
The Sorcerer of
veto
Cinnamon
that idea?
Twists.
Well, I mean, hold on now. If
Mm-hmm.
we can have other properties.
You're pitching. You're pitching the show.
Okay, fair. Okay, fair.
Welcome, Artemis. Glad to have you. Follow up questions for Knights of Baja Blast.
Yeah, could it be Bahamut like it's like the Baja in Baja Blast is like Bahamut and like it's spelled that way instead of with a J.
Yeah.
It fantasies
Instead
it up a little
of
bit.
just being like the Knights of Baja Blast, it is the Knights of Bahamut, but it's spelled Bahamut.
Ooh, yeah. Yeah.
Sure, absolutely.
Wait, are they all?
The
Are they
font
are they all dogs?
every time it is presented, it would be the regular like Baja Blast script for Baja, and then the like iconic D&D font for the rest of the word.
Mm-hmm.
But everything has to be covered in cheese.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Sakura has posited the Cheesy Gordita Crunch Paladin.
Ooh, that's good.
Beefy 5-layer Barbarian.
Beefy 5-layer barbarian.
Fourth meal cleric.
Oh yes, the Cleric of the Fourth Meal. Yes.
That's good.
Oh man. Oh Punk, I'm so sorry I stole yours. You got to be faster. Oh man. You have a bard whose only instrument is a large bell. They just gong.
Bong.
Instead of like spell scrolls, it's like it's everything's on like sauce packets, and instead of like,
Yes.
chronicling, you just have to like ingest the sauce.
That's
over
very
time.
good. That works very well with Bumborning's Warlock Pact of the Hot Sauce. Or Pact of the Diablo Sauce. Pact of the Fiend, only hot sauce invocations. Quesarito,
love-
Druid, Circle of Cheese, Chihuahua Ranger. These are fantastic.
I love the idea that they're also food related, by the way. I love the idea that like for spell slots, you'd have to eat your way to the appropriate spell level.
Wizards, you know the like $5 box that they do, or at least they used to. Wizards have one of those, and once they've eaten all the items, they're out of spell slots.
Oh my god.
Oh,
You want a first level spot? That's just like
That's
the
easy.
cinnamon twists or the
Yeah.
chips with cheese. But you get up to the like a 5th level spell, you gotta eat a whole Doritos Locos Taco,
Yeah.
or 5-layer burrito, a Crunchwrap Supreme.
now would a cantrip just be like squeezing a sauce packet into your mouth? Like, is that
That or
that
just like a
feels
chip.
like a punishment?
Like a chip
No,
or
I
something.
love
Like
that.
a chip. Okay.
I feel like it depends. If you're like a wizard, that's a chip. If you're a warlock, it is
Okay.
just straight hot sauce.
It's just straight up go.
Yeah.
Ooh, I don't
You
want
want
to know.
you want an Eldritch Blast? You're gonna regret it tomorrow.
You're gonna Eldritch Blast. Let me tell you.
Oh man.
Oh, that got closer.
I'm so that's Knights of Baja Blast.
Okay.
Junie, I believe that brings us back to you.
All the way
Okay,
back around.
I have so many, y'all.
I'm so excited.
Do you want like a dumb one or a plausible one?
Yes.
What do you? Okay,
Yeah.
cool.
Take your choice.
Okay. Okay. I'll just stop with the first one I wrote down.
Okay.
I'll start at the top. All right, hear me out.
Okay.
Competitive dice rolling. Okay.
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 And there's I wrote down variants because there's two ways that this can go.
Uh-huh.
One, it's just style points. It's like diving where
Uh-huh.
it's just how dope did you like roll it, or like pull where it's like you tried to roll it and make it land on top of something. Like, oh, I made my D20 land on top of the D4 and stay there.
Oh,
And then that
interesting.
leaves it to like oversized dice and doing cool trick shots with that.
Mm-hmm.
And then the other one is targeted, where weighted dice is allowed, but it's the judge. It's almost like darts at that point. where you have like,
you have a
you're trying to
specific
chip
number you're trying to get to.
Exactly. So you're trying to roll. So yeah, like, oh, mine leans towards the odd number, so I know I can try to curve it or spin it around there. But yeah, it's like darts where it's like you're either just trying to hit either a specific number and you go like I can
It's
feel
like
how
like
roll
blackjack.
7. Yes, or it's
But
just
with
like all
dice.
right, I need to roll higher or I need to roll lower, and how in control, like Beyblades, how like they were in control of their Beyblades even though they were just freaking tops. They just spun a top, but there's like a magical dragon in that thing, and they were like, oh yeah, the strategy, I gotta hang out in the middle. It's like you just spun a top.
Dude, you just spun. That's it.
Yeah,
There's
like,
no.
So it's like imagine like Beyblades but real, but with dice.
I like the idea of
what would you
Beyblade
call
dice,
it?
actually.
I didn't think of a name for that one. It's just competitive dice rolling. That's. I was just like, yo, like, what is this?
Oh,
It's like,
dude.
competitive dice rolling.
Did you catch CDR last week?
Yeah, right. It just sometimes.
We went for the acronym.
Dude,
I love the
Sometimes it
idea of
just
like ripping dice out of like a
launcher.
top
out of a
there.
Beyblade
Yeah,
launcher.
just-
It's so good.
Let it crit.
Yeah.
Let it crit. Yeah, right.
Gotta crit 'em all.
Yeah, yeah.
Does
That's
this have to be D&D
that's super
related?
good.
Is that
No.
what?
It
A
does-
lot of mine are.
I'm going D&D
but
because
I-
you know.
Yeah, absolutely.
I do have some that aren't similar. Oh no, go ahead. I'm done.
Sakura,
I
Sakura,
respect the
Sakura
pen, by
has
the way.
pitched extreme dice,
Okay.
which is very good.
Extreme dice is not bad.
Oh, okay. All right. I was just like, I thought there was another thing. And I was like, oh,
No,
yeah,
no,
okay,
no.
yeah,
Just
yeah,
as
that
a
makes
name
sense, yeah.
for it. That's very good. I like the concept of there's multiple different like game modes. Like this strikes me as a game where this would be very good as like a TikTok series, where you find people at conventions, and you're like, welcome to CDR. Choose your win condition, and they like whoever you approach has to choose like, well, I'm gonna go for style, or I'm gonna go for closest to 13, like anything like that.
I like that.
And then and then because you challenge them, they get to choose the win condition, which would be very, very fun. Artemis has redeemed both hydrate and posture checks, so cheers, Artemis. I remembered to bring my water just for you.
This is empty. No, I'm
I
kidding.
have a strawberry banana smoothie.
Hey, that's
Well
just
played.
delicious and
Well
hydrating.
played.
Bum Morning says CDR Dice Olympics.
I like
This is very good. I like competitive dice rolling a lot. This is very good. Any follow-up questions for CDR, Gabe?
I want the dice in this process to be aggressive somehow. Like, maybe I'm segueing into the thing that I'm going to say next, but like, I really want them to be like hard to roll, or like a difficult process to like wrap your head around. I want there to be like a skill-based component to the dice roll.
Absolutely. I like.
I don't know what it means. Like golf holes or something. That
Have
you
you
have to roll
ever
them into.
have you ever seen the I think it's made by Kraken Dice, the Leviathan?
No, what?
It is a solid metal D20
Oh,
that's like
yes.
this big.
Holy, okay.
I will.
I just saw it.
Yeah,
I'm
I
just
will-
imagining
Video.
shuffleboard where like they're
I'll pay.
like curling.
I'll send I'll put a link to it in the chat. I'll find it, but yeah,
it would be great if like two people had to sweep in front of the die roll as it was rolling down.
Or it's like a team base. You're turning it into a team-based sport now.
I mean,
man.
yeah.
it's
Cup it lands
it's
to a 3, cup it
only
land to a 3.
the Leviathan is only $400.
Yeah, I just saw it like on a Game Grumps episode. They were
Ooh.
tossing it, and you hear it. You hear
Yeah,
the, it's
the
not
one
just
the one with
title.
the one with Matt Mercer.
Matt Mercer. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
like, you hear it is solid and dangerous.
Yeah.
How would you'd have to be careful which floor you rolled that on.
Oh,
Oh, yeah.
absolutely.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So it's like concrete or nothing.
It's absurd, man. Like look at I dropped the link in the chat. Look at that. It is like the size of this girl's head. Absolutely insane. They had that at was it Gen Con? It was one of I think it was Gen Con last year. They had a couple of them at their booth. And like picking it up, that thing is hefty. It's insane.
It's only $400.
Hey, thank you, good dogs. Appreciate you. Yeah, it's great. You can get them in multiple colors. We would need 2 of them to roll off, right?
I like the white one a lot.
Oh man, it's so dangerous. It's so dangerous. It went from being like, all right, yeah, the most dangerous, like I didn't stretch, to being like, oh no, like it's like javelin, like somebody can get impaled.
What do you think?
Somebody can get crushed.
I'm just imagining. I'm imagining the person who's like packing the order at Kraken, and they're like, what idiot ordered 2 of these?
It's for advantage and disadvantage. You have to have 2.
You don't understand, ma'am. I'm playing a halfling, and so my dice need to be massive to show that I'm small.
With shipping, that has to be $1,000 order. They're over 12
absolutely.
pounds.
It's gotta be, right?
There's no way.
And if we
They're
were doing
hollow.
like a
12
league,
pounds?
if we were doing league, we'd have to order like 6 or whatever. So they'd be like, who needs this many of those? Like a full set of this many dice, and it's just like we go big.
12 pounds is like a bowling ball. That's what you could do. You could do bowling for your dice score, right? I'm still in competitive dice rolling now. Like
I'm invested.
And no matter what you scored, it's 2 times the number of pins you knock down, and that's your roll.
Oh man.
So is it like a wait? Okay, hold on. You turned this into bowling in my brain now. 'Cause I'm
Now it's a
imagining,
bowling game.
I'm imagining like it's either downhill or a dice tower, a really crazy dice tower, and you just have to roll it and hopefully knock down the right number of pins, and add the bonus of whatever's on the die.
I like that. I do. I like that it's a non-standard lane. Like, you have to do something crazy where, like, you roll it down like a pachinko machine or whatever.
I've been watching Holy Moly, like, religiously for the past few weeks, so all of my ideas are slightly Holy Moly.
They're a little skewed, yeah.
So I have good news and bad news. The bad news is they are $400, which means that I have them in my cart right now.
All 12 of them?
No, just 2. So it would be $800. The good news is shipping is free. Because I'm over a certain amount.
Let's be fair. That's nice of them.
Better news. They have a promotion going on right now, so I would get a free goblin miniature, a free Kraken logo keychain, a dice bag, a dice tote, and it says Dad's favorite seat. What is this?
Is it a toilet cover or something?
Oh, that would make sense. It says nothing comes up when I click on it, so I have no idea. But it's got to be a toilet, right? That would all be free if I bought these 2 $400 D20s.
The keychain alone
really makes up for it. Yeah. Like, they don't just give those away.
I thought you were gonna say it's like
they do. They're giving me one.
They actually are just giving it away.
Oh man. Okay. Thank you for the follow. Okay, so that was Lysander03 has followed us.
What? I know who that is.
Okay.
I think so. Let me see.
Yeah, so these are great. This is a good idea, Junie. Well done. Gabe, that brings us to you.
All right. Hear me out. Okay, it could, if we're doing D&D, what if instead of dice rolls, you replace all of the dice? So we just let Junie have all the dice, right?
Uh-huh.
And we make it an Uno game instead with a twist. No matter what color or number you play, you have to be pegged with that number of paintballs.
Whoa. Okay.
So if you if you play a 2 red, that means you're getting thwacked
Twice?
with 2 red paintballs ad infinitum throughout the entire game. So I'm just saying, I like dice rolls, and I think there is incentive to make them, but in a really aggressive game, like, you might think twice before playing that reverse card. We could do something completely different for reverse and skip if we wanted to, but
Sure.
yeah, I like a slip and slide every now and again. Just throwing that out there. Soccer's like, no.
Okay.
Incredible.
Okay.
Follow-up question.
Okay.
Why? No, real question. This seems like I know we just pitched a show that would require me to buy $800 in giant metal dice.
Right.
This sounds expensive.
I feel. I mean, you could auto mount a gun. You wouldn't necessarily, or you could just have somebody on standby, like with different hoppers and different colors, 4 different guns. Just
Goodog says, "Why is the least of the follow-up questions?"
That's the smallest of the questions.
I have a fun little thing to spice it up.
Yes, because this pitch doesn't have enough spice.
Because when you get hit in paintball, right? When you get hit in paintball, you're out, right?
Sure.
That's usually the case. But just imagine we're wearing like white shirts or a shirt with like a white square on it, right?
Okay.
And just imagine that is your health, and just imagine every time you get hit,
Ooh, interesting.
that white is covered up, and your HP isn't con based. It's how much blank
white
space
left on your shirt.
How much white is left on your shirt. So the splatter could be really bad, or it could be real isolated. Maybe if it's a real bad hit, it's closer up, so it's closer, but if it's far back, it'll splat further. But it's kind of like you can go in and go crazy if you're like, just like, okay, I still got to, no, there's still room over here, you know what I mean? Until it's like, no, man, there's no more room on your shirt. You are done. You are out.
I love the idea of like having it be the like the shield for AC and having it on your back, and the gun is aimed at each of the participants. And they don't get to see, so they have to roll or play their card. Every time they do, they just hear.
Whatever mechanism is involving these paintballs, I feel like this can be applied to anything, and
really,
and make it like there is something where it's a health tracker.
Let me take this and twist it. Instead of using Uno cards, because Uno cards, you also said they would be hit with 2 paintballs of that color, which seems like a lot to coordinate.
8 of blue.
Let me pitch this. Play D&D. But on any D20 roll, you can change it to a nat 20 by being shot that many times. The difference between what you rolled at 20.
Ooh.
Oh no!
So you can roll a nat 1 and turn it into a nat 20 if you're willing to be shot 19 times.
The only thing is I can imagine like a masochist or somebody with like a dumb pain tolerance just abusing it, and it goes really quickly from like, oh my god, so and so's a beast, to then everybody not being impressed with it anymore. Like it only takes like 2 times of somebody taking 40 paintballs and not flinching before you're like, okay, we get it. You can.
Yeah,
you don't
you're
feel
the best
pain
at this.
Yes, I get it. But I cry every time. I'm gonna like get hit once. I'm gonna have a bruise. Like the paintball will be like this big. I'm gonna have a bruise bigger than my head, and I'm gonna be like, I'm good.
Well,
let's everything I can to avoid
if we pair it though with Junie's health tracker idea, you can only be shot so many times before you are dead. So you can turn a nat 1 into a nat 20. It's gonna use up a lot of your health.
It might be better if like what you roll, your party members are shot with.
Oh gosh.
So now it's like you don't have to take that hit at all. It's them.
Oh man.
Oh man.
Putting your fate in somebody else's hands, that's always a thing.
People know how I roll too. So
I like that.
Punishing for them.
I love that. Yeah. You have a that's very fun. What is the what's the name for this show, Gabe?
Oh gosh, I mean, you could sell the T-shirts afterwards.
Well, that's
damn.
merch. Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Absolutely.
Like this has some room to grow.
That's like NFTs because it's unique. Like this is
Uh-huh.
episode 4.
It's art. Yeah.
Oh.
This is
It's like
Derek's.
NFT. Wait, I'm real
this is
dumb.
Derek's.
It's like NFTs but real.
Yeah.
And you're like, that's art, and I was like, oh yeah, that's how that actually goes.
This is Derek's shirt from episode 2. It's completely white because he didn't take a single shot.
Wait,
It's a
did
white
that actually
t-shirt with a
happen?
shield.
Oh man.
I want it to be something like that sounds like Dungeons and Dragons with a little bit of alliteration. So
Mhm.
like I don't know, paintballs and something, or paint and something. Paint the table.
Paint
Paint
that
the
could be
table's
minis.
fun.
Well, that could be like a minis show. Like seems like painting terrain and painting stuff like that.
Could be terrain.
Oh wait, I got it. Paint me dead.
Paint me dead.
Paint me dead is pretty good.
'Cause
Yes.
they're covered in paint. They're dead. Like
Yes. There we go.
paintballs and bruises. Paint and pain. Ooh, paint and pain is good.
Paint and paint is good. I like Paint Me Dead. That's
Paint me dead's pretty good.
Somebody wrote 20 balls to the face with a question mark, and I find a question mark to make it funnier.
oh man, that's very good. I like that a lot. Oh man. Okay. I think we follow up questioned that. Yeah. That was very
fleshed
good.
out.
I like that. Okay, that brings us to me. My next pitch is one that Junie has heard the pitch before, because it was one that we came up with at PAX, and I've just decided to also pitch it here.
I've tried not to do anything we've talked about before, but there's like 4. I was like, remember that time we talked about this? Can we talk about it now? But
No,
go ahead,
we definitely can. This one would be called Junie Ruiz Presents Spicy Boys. And have you ever seen Hot Ones?
Oh yeah, with
Yeah.
the hot wings, right?
Yeah, where they're like eating
Sean
wings.
Evans, is
Yeah.
that his name?
Yeah.
So it'd be like that, but it would be Junie running people through a D&D game. And if they fail a roll, they have to eat a really spicy thing. And it would just
Can I
get
be on that
progressively
show,
worse.
please?
Absolutely. Yes, 100%.
And I have a dumb tolerance, like
Yeah,
so I
it'd
would
be super good. But it would be Spicy Boys, and boys would be spelled with a Z, obviously. And the I in spicy would be a pepper.
Sorry, Sakura. I understand what it's like. I know I'm getting older too, and things are getting harder. I still do it though because I refuse to give in to time. So I know what it's like when you get older and you go like, I can't do this like I used to, but then I'm still gonna do it.
Fwifo says that they'd be on that show so we can see someone cry. Fwifo, Junie Ruiz Presents Spicy Boys is currently on my list of shows to film a pilot episode of at Gen Con. So you absolutely can be involved in that.
Yeah, this is gonna be real dumb.
For those of you who are in the chat who don't know, we have a bunch of people staying in the a giant Airbnb for Gen Con. And my goal is to just film a bunch of random nonsense, like pilot episodes of different shows, during the week that we're there. I'm very excited.
It's gonna. Some of them will be hypercuts because they'll only be like 4 minutes worth of actual content.
Absolutely. Well, some of it can be like, it could be YouTube Shorts or TikTok content. Some of it can be like, this is something we would stream on Twitch. Some of it can be, this is stuff that would go to YouTube. But yeah, absolutely. Suddenly something came up on August 4th.
So weird.
Don't you dare.
So-
You be there. Follow-up questions for for Junie Ruiz Presents Spicy Boys.
Is there any condition under which, like, if there's like a nat 1, does everyone have to eat something spicy? Is it party based? Like, how's that work?
I always imagined it as either failing is like eating something spicy, either making it that there's degrees where, because some people just, it doesn't need to escalate. So it could be like, you know, there's escalating things, so almost like the way that exhaustion escalates a situation. So it's like you fail once, you eat tier 1, and then you failed 3 times. It's getting hotter and hotter. Every fail is hurting more.
Sure.
Or it's just like you just, you know, some people can't do spicy things, so it's just like we have what's hot for you that's gonna, like, that threshold of like, this is spicy but I'm not going to cry or vomit or something like that. So some people that's just Doritos Locos Tacos, like, you know what I mean? Sometimes it's just like that some Doritos Locos,
so
like, that might be too hot. My mom doesn't like black pepper.
My brothers and I were sitting in the living room watching TV one time, and we were just eating a regular bag of nacho cheese Doritos, and my mom walked into the living room and was like, "Ooh, Doritos," and took one and popped it into her mouth, and she was like, "Huh, why didn't you warn me they were spicy?" And we're like, "Those are regular Doritos, Mom."
Some people have like zero tolerance, so it's just like get what gets right for them, and then just so every time they fail, they have to like tough it out. But then, you know, but I also imagine this for the DM too, you know what I mean? So it's just like,
oh, okay.
Oh yeah, like I mean, if everybody's gonna suffer at the table, I know as a DM, I'm not gonna make somebody do something that I wouldn't do. So I'm gonna have dumb things here, and
we could have like
I do
bowl.
dumb rolls. I do dumb rolls behind the scenes just for my, like, because I leave everything up to chance. So I feel like there'll be moments where like everybody will be having a scene, and I'll roll for a perception check nobody knows, and people will just start hearing me coughing.
Because you just drank a shot glass of hot sauce.
Junie rolled and failed something somewhere in the world, and because that's how I'll say it. I was like, something failed somewhere in the world, and that's all you need to know. Because I don't want to let them know somebody's sneaking up on
off the bottle of hot sauce.
We could also have like a bowl of ice cream or milk or something in the middle that if you roll a nat 20 or something like that, if you roll a nat 20, you can decide who gets to take like a little bite of ice cream. So if somebody in your party is dying, you can relieve that, or you can take it for yourself. Or you can be an insane person and give it to the GM.
Just stuff your mouth full of bread. Yeah.
There you go.
That's good.
I'm always a fan of this one. We will definitely be filming some episode of it at Gen Con, because I think it's going to be entertaining.
Okay, Gen Con eligible. I'll think about that. I'll add that to my list of criteria. Food-based, Gen Con eligible.
It doesn't need to be food-based.
New rule.
New rule.
Oh. Okay. Junie.
All right, this is a dumb one that I know won't work, but fuck it. Okay, so
let's do it.
Out. All right, we've seen Oops All Bards, Oops All like Barbarians, Oops All something or other. Oops All DMs.
Yep,
and
that's
everybody
the show.
And everybody is a DM at the table. And I don't know how this would work exactly, but when it's your turn, you are the DM, and you can change the world as if you were just the DM of the current game. So it's like a rotating, whatever's turn it is, you are the DM. And I don't know if it's your... I just wrote literally Oops All DMs. That's what I wrote. I didn't flesh this out.
No,
it's just the idea of
so good.
Like 4 competitive DM screens. You have your cavalcade of monsters and plot and something or other, and either it is supposed to be cohesive, or either you're trying to get somebody out, or at the end, you know, it's like everybody determines who contributed the most, or if it's just seeing if something can be made out of this. But whether it's an egg timer or something like that, it's like you're the DM. Oh well, yeah. Like imagine like everybody has a character, and then just the egg timer
everybody
rotates.
has a character, and also everybody is the GM.
Exactly. So it's just like when the timer is done, your character is you're doing the double thing, you know, where it's like now he's an NPC and you're the DM,
right?
And everybody's who they are, but then it rotates. And I mean, if you're the DM, you can say, roughly this is what happens, and whatever you got to say for DM shenanigans, you're the DM at that point. Nobody's gonna.
Oh, Mindless Puppets threw a great first DM to laugh is out.
Oh my gosh!
That's
So
good.
so you have a table of like 6 GMs. And
That's a lot.
but like,
that's good for this. Yeah, for first level.
and like a group of 6 isn't unheard of.
Yeah.
Like, you have a group of 6 GMs. The GM seat is rotating. I also think that for prime comedic benefit, it shouldn't be everybody has their own GM screen. There should be one GM screen, and when the egg timer goes off, everybody has to get up and rotate. So it's just like, get up, grab your stuff,
funny.
move one seat down.
Oh no!
It's
like writing a book one chapter at a time, but
Yes.
every chapter is a different author.
Wow.
Wow.
I also think that this should be like a this is a it would be great for one shots. But it would be the one shot has already been prepped by somebody else. And it is sitting at the at behind the GM screen. So when the GM sits down, they aren't like just floundering and doing something on their own. They are flipping the page and starting to run whatever is on that next page.
Oh my god!
You know what? I can
terrifying.
combine things because there's another one here that I wrote, and it's just called DM's notes, and it's literally like a DM has to run a thing that they didn't write, and it's not like you have the time to review it type of situation.
Just go.
You were just given it, and it's just like make it make sense, but it's written in that way where it's like it works, but also it's kind of dumb. So there's no chance to modify or react and go, wait,
Right.
what? Because you don't know exactly where it's going because you didn't it's like, okay,
Did
I know where
you
this is gonna
have you
be.
ever seen? I think it's a Jimmy Fallon bit, where it's like Mad Libs theater.
No.
He'll have like a celebrity guest on, and they fill out a Mad Libs that turns into a script. That then they go into another room and put on like costumes and do the whole scene that was just written for the Mad Lib. We could prep every one shot like that, where we get like content from the Discord or whatever, and like fill out a one shot that is then put and formatted and put into the GM seat.
That's good. I like that.
Oh man. The Benedict Cucumber Bath one is very good. It's very good.
That's good.
Oh, Goodog says a giant lazy Susan. So it's not everybody gets up and moves one
Move
seat
the
down.
screen around.
You literally
Spin
just
it, yeah.
rotate the whole prep station to the next person. That could be fun too. A game with players is normal, but periodically all players pass the DM a note with something they need to add to the world. That could be good as well.
Okay, but wait, so where are the players? Because, like, in my mind, what you do is you have the players off stage, right? But they're communicating instructions to the GM through an earpiece, right? So your entire party communicates to you as the GM, and you have to do what they say when you're sitting at the table. So
Wait,
now
what's
every
happening?
time...
Wait, hold on. I don't know where we're at. I don't even know
We've
what
taken-
we're on.
You're like,
took a
hold
right
on.
turn.
Yeah.
Total right turn. So I'm imagining that, like, you've got all the DMs in one room, right? But you have party behind you. So now you've got them communicating into the room, and they've got the earpiece in, right? So it's reversed now. You've got all the players giving the GM orders while they sit at the table, whether they have the screen or not. Totally. Maybe when they have the screen,
Okay,
that's
so
the
is
only
this
time they
just some
don't
sort
have
of? Is this just some sort of like? Okay, so
to.
then
It's like, all right, got it.
So
Jen.
I feel like then, because I'm like players that are doing what? But I guess this would kind of be almost like a prank of like, we love our DM, we're gonna put him on. Like there's always those shows where the people shouldn't want to be on those shows, but people like put on. So like What Not to Wear. I would never want to be on that show, but it's always like their friends like sent clips of them to this person. It's like, your friends all said you need a wardrobe makeover, and they're like, all right, thanks. I'd be like, yo, screw all them.
Yeah.
But this is essentially
Your
like,
friends think you're dumb and ugly. So we've brought in a tutor and somebody to give you a makeover.
Yeah. So just imagine like this is like parties like going like, hey, you know, we love our DM, but you know, we'd like for him to also play sometimes. Or if it's just like our DM's a hard ass and we want him to feel what it's like when he's not in control or something like that.
That's fun. I
It's like
don't think it's
wait.
Oops All GMs anymore.
No, it's not. It's not. It's become something else.
Something totally different.
But the name of that show is called Total Party Control.
Ooh.
Because then the party controls the DM
With a
and
K.
the DM, yeah. So there's Oops All DMs, and then there's this party control. Where it's like
I
they're
love
controlling the
I
DM.
love that. I love Oops All DMs. Mindless Puppet said, I love the rotating thing because then they're forced to rotate player sheets too. That's incredible. You like so there's 6 people, 5 players, 1 GM. The character sheet stays at the seat. So when you stand up and you rotate one down, you're also switching who's playing the Warlock, who's playing the Barbarian, the Cleric, whatever, and who's the GM. And so each like new room you're like running out. That could like if you get a character late in the game, you could be screwed over by like the person who had them first used all of their spell slots.
All of the spell slots.
Can I be greedy and say one more thing?
Yeah, hit it.
This reminded me of one more idea. I have so many ideas, but some of them are like really tangential, like close to one another.
Yeah, it's just a web.
Okay, all right. This one's for real. This one's for real, and even my wife was like, I think I might watch that. Okay, so it's on the surface vanilla D&D actual play. It's just whatever it is, right? Everybody's whoever it is.
Mm-hmm.
But the cast of 3, 4, 5, whatever it is, it's not just them. It's the cast. They are whatever they are, but they have to take really good notes because next session, different players have to take those characters, and it's kind of, I forget what movie it is, but it's kind of like when you go to sleep, you wake up and you don't know which is reality and which is not, type of thing. You go to sleep, and then the other players are taking over that character sheet, and the only thing they have to go off of
are the notes from the previous.
Did
we talk about this at PAX?
Maybe I don't remember.
This sounds very
familiar.
I think we talked about this on the drive home from PAX.
Yeah, and then they have to keep going, but because the story keeps going, and it is one cohesive thing.
Is it one GM, or does the GM switch too?
Yeah, no, I was imagining the GM stays.
One GM,
same GM.
They're keeping it cohesive. But it's a rotating cast of characters, and it could just be like 2 groups. It doesn't have to be like too many groups, but the more groups, then it becomes a game of telephone where it's just like you drive Charlie the Barbarian, and then you're like, oh man, did I grab a duck at some point? Hold on, what? Because you have to go off of whatever the thing is.
Oh man, the GM would have to have incredible notes as well because they would have to know what actually happened.
Correct. And then reference it and like to have the world go. It's like you did this. You may not know it because it's not written down, but you
just
know,
keep rolling, like as if it's wrote already, and they should know, and you just keep running as if they have perfect memory.
Here's the question: Is this a case of the GM is running and like whatever they actually have, or is it a case of they are running and whatever they can decipher from their notes is what they have? So like they look down at their notes and they're like, I think I have a long sword that's inhabited by the spirit of a duck. And he's like, "Yep, that's what you have."
100%.
And you just roll with it then.
So there has to be like hard lines of like the GM is like, "No, this is what it is," and then there's there's hard lines where it is this is what it is, and then and then there's the things that you have to flavor from what you remember or what's written down in your notes. So it's just like I take out my sword. And then it says British sword, so my sword's British now, I guess. And then that's how it's gonna evolve. It's gonna be it's narrative telephone. You know what I mean? Where it's essentially just like the story keeps building because they keep.
Oh man, I could
trying to write down things, but it's like notes. So it's like I didn't take down any notes, so I'm gonna have to write down from memory what happened, and it's like then this happened.
I would be,
but then everybody at the table can kind of like compare notes.
Right.
To
You
fill in
would have like 20 minutes before the session started, where the players get to like compare the notes that were left for them and try and piece together what's actually happening before
Yeah.
what happens.
Somebody
Feels
said
like
that
the
only
Iron
one's-
Chef of D&D. Like you're just
Yeah.
handed a
Yup.
basket
Well, somebody
of
said only
stuff,
one's
you
allowed
have
to watch the
figure
show.
it
I
out.
imagine that if you're not on the episode, you don't watch the show when you're not on it.
This
Right.
strikes me as something that would be
You can't watch it because you just can't know.
No, this to me strikes me as something where everybody, like, a season of this is recorded over a weekend, right? This is not a live show. This is a recorded show.
Oh yeah.
So that you have like once you have all of the episodes recorded, that's
You
when
can
it would
release.
then be released.
Yeah.
I love that.
Oh my gosh, this sounds like a nightmare.
It does. It does. But it's
that's
like
so
it also
good.
it could work.
I would watch the
if
shit out of it though
it's
if it was done
right.
well.
Yeah.
Hope
it's
Punk
one of those, like,
says
this
you're
could
handed a
work.
blank character sheet, and as you start playing, the GM will clue you in on what you're playing and your stats as you ask to do things. The extreme version of that. Yeah, I've seen pitches of that
my
of
gosh.
like a party wakes up with amnesia and none of them know like what they are playing. And like the one person was like they're playing a half work or something like that, and they got knocked down to 0. And he's like, yeah, you would not get knocked down to 0, but because you're an orc, you're actually only down to 1. And they're like, I'm an orc.
I'm an orc.
Yo, this is kind of like D&D Sudoku, because imagine being handed a blank character sheet and it's just like, I'm gonna roll a perception check, and they roll, and then they look at the DM and he's like 4, and then you add the perception check, so you know that your wisdom could be a 4,
One of
or
two
you
numbers.
could,
Yeah.
Right.
or you could have like
You
proficiency.
you win by filling in your character sheet.
Whoever can fill in their character sheet first.
Oh my god, D&D bingo.
Oh my god. Holy crap, whoever can
That's
fill
pretty good.
all the slots on
I
the
love
thing.
that.
So you have to like try write that down.
That's pretty good.
Junie, what was
D&D's
the previous one? What
The
was
goal of the one shot is to fill in your character sheet.
what was the previous
So,
one's
train
name?
of thought, this went from Oops All
Yeah,
DMs
we
to
started at
DM's
Oops All
notes,
GMs, transferred
to-
into DM's notes.
and then it was it was I didn't have a name for it. It was literally just the idea of like rotating characters. Did I write name down? Hold
Total
on.
party
I might-
control is what you called it.
No, that was when the party controls the DM and is feeding them notes like
All the way
on how
around.
to-
Yeah. Okay, got it.
Oh god, guys, I have so many things here.
Player telephone. Let's see here.
I like it's something. It could be something simple like
What did we do last night?
Well, I was gonna say it's like long rest, and it's just because at the end of a long rest is when like like everything is supposed to be within a rest. But the rotation part, the notes part,
Long rests and rotation.
that's good. Long rest rotation.
Yeah, long rest rotation. Does sort of sound like the name of a swingers club, but
Dungeons and Daddies is a thing, so I mean
that's
like,
true.
they're-
But
Yeah,
they're not a BDSM podcast, except for that one episode where they were a BDSM
yeah, I was about to say there
podcast.
totally was. Yeah.
Oh, Goo Dogs, that's the
Yeah.
GM knows what you did last summer.
That's good. That's good.
That's pretty good too.
Also,
Yeah.
just like something like what happened. Just like what?
Oh no!
Just what?
Where were we?
Ooh, where were we? Is good.
Because it's like you're picking up where it was left off. So like every episode, the GM would start with like, so where were we?
That's good. That's really good.
That's good.
All right, I gotta stop because I still have a lot of things. So please, somebody take this take this mic from me.
We were playing this game where we were rotating, and then Junie pitched 4 ideas in a
Yeah,
row.
and he's like, "How about just all of them?"
Tangent. It was a tangent. And
Oh,
they were
man.
all
That's
close
so
to,
good.
close to one another. So I'm gonna stop.
Hope Punk said, "Dude, where's my character sheet?"
That's
That's-
good.
That's also very good. Okay.
Oh man. So many good ideas for this one. I love that. That's a very good one. Okay.
They're all really good. Yeah.
They're all great ideas. I love this like long rest rotation. Dude, where's my character sheet? Where were we? I love that whole show concept. Gabe, it is your turn.
Oh, pen pals. That's what I wrote. I did write a thing.
Pen pals is
it's-
also good.
Where it's like they're like, yeah, this is.
Oh, as
yeah.
if you're like penning a note to someone
Yeah.
and passing
Yeah.
it.
Yeah,
Oh,
that's what it was. So
yeah.
I didn't read the title name. I just wrote. Yeah, there we go. So that's
Handoff?
that's the.
I don't know. There's something there.
Gabe,
Roll, pass.
your turn to pick one.
That's a different show. That's a different show.
Totally different show, but sorry.
Depending on the state you lived in, it's not
Yeah.
a bad choice.
Yeah.
Okay. Something specific to Gen Con may or may not involve food. Here we go. How about this? Still D&D. In order to play in the game and take an action, you have to... Okay, your action doesn't work until you play charades and your party guesses what it is you're trying to do on your turn. How about that?
Okay.
I don't know where the GM fits in this at all at this point. I'm still figuring that out.
Well, I can add to it because I
Okay,
have
go,
one that,
yeah.
Absolutely.
I have one that handles the GM side of that, but you took the other end of this. So this is perfect.
Okay.
It's the DM rolls for how good they set the scene. So the DM rolls, and if he rolls real low, he does a real bad word picture of what is about to happen. And if he rolls real high, it's that Matt Mercer level of like
Yeah.
sweeping vistas and stuff like
Yeah.
that. But like the other way, it's like they can't talk, and it's called performance check.
Oh,
Performance
I love
check.
that.
That's so good.
I love it. So the DM, if they roll a 3, they're like, it's real blue. And
Yeah,
that's
like,
they have
really,
to get
yeah,
up and like
exactly.
pretend like they know
I-
what
So
they're
it's
supposed to do.
there's a communication barrier on all fronts on this.
Oh, that's awesome. Okay. I like that a lot.
I like the building on this. This one I would also want to be pre-recorded and edited and then released, because depending on what the GM is able to describe, would influence what like what art we put up. So like if they roll a 1 and they're like big room, tree, small things. And then it's just like a 5-year-old doodle of like a square and
And
like
that's
a
paint.
yeah. Or they like go into vivid detail and there's like music and lighting and like a 3-dimensional beautiful landscape painted before them. I love
There's
that.
a price tag in the corner because it says like we had to commission this art.
Yeah,
Like, it's
you
just
rolled the GM rolled a nat 20. This picture cost us $400. Please subscribe to the Patreon.
Please, we can't afford nat 20s.
Yeah, we can't keep doing this.
This show is going bankrupt because the GM rolls too well.
I will not be the GM on that show. We don't have to worry about it. You want cheap art? Put me in that seat. I'll roll all day.
Here's where we spent our Kickstarter budget, says Goodogs.
That's good.
Oh man,
That's when you can play at Gen Con, you know? Like you could
I love
actually
that.
do that. The
that's
household
that's
people.
very fun.
And then plus food. I don't know where that goes, but it's in there somewhere, I'm sure. Something pudding. Done.
So the GM, GM rolls to see how well they describe the scene, and then the player has to act out what they're trying to do, and if so this would be completely diceless except for the GM rolling to see how well they describe things.
Correct. Your action
Uh,
only works based on how well your party can guess it. Maybe it's on a timer even. And the faster they get it, the better it works.
That sounds good. Yeah, there's like, within a certain amount of time it equals this. We'd have to like gauge it or adapt it.
Player has to write out what they want to do and then pass it to the GM, and then the GM is now the judge of when the rest of the players have like guessed it correctly. Because you could take the easy route and be like, I want like jump, and then they're just like jump, and they're like jump, and they're like yeah, and he's like okay cool, you jump. You still haven't crossed this hole in the bridge because you didn't specify that you wanted to go across the bridge. You just jumped. Like, that's very fun. Oh man, that could be very entertaining. I'm into that.
Another show I would not want to be on, but I would love to watch.
Bye, Mel. See you in a little bit.
I would hate to be a player on that one. Yeah, I'm okay with like adapting like how well I describe something and like making it better or worse. But like, oh man, how do I convey? I'm trying to see if he's lying. Like an insight check,
right?
But like a specific insight check. You know what I mean? It's just like you're trying to see if he's your dad or what. You know,
you're just like looking real close and then like.
Seduction. You're seducing him.
Yeah, I would. That's a spell, right?
You're asking for a threesome.
Oh god, casting spells? Oh my god.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh no.
It'd be rough.
You're just like
fairy fire,
crackling, fire, circle, fire, flaming sphere? No, fireball.
Yeah.
Is Naruto a spell? You keep doing this. I don't know.
That's just Goodberry. Yes. You
just point at them and then put like X's over your eyes and they're like finger of death.
Done.
There we go.
Oh man, that's so funny. Okay. That's very good, Gabe. And Judy, because that was a team effort.
It was all you, and I was just.
Judy's
it was one
driving,
of those, like,
man. I don't know what we're talking about.
I'm sorry.
Here.
No, but I have a lot of like butter dice. It's like I wrote it, and I was like, I don't got, and then so I wrote that performance check, and I was like, I don't know, this is like only half of an idea, or like just the vaguest of ideas. I was like, oh no, this is here. Take this. This is for you.
This is what happens in a writer's room right now. Like we're just doing it on stream.
Yes. Okay. This one, I don't know how I feel about it. It might be difficult to do. The overarching plot of it is, you have a GM. That GM is assigned a movie or a book or a TV show or something like that, and they have 1 hour to prep a one-shot based on that movie or TV show or whatever it is. They have 1 hour to prep it, and then they are brought into a room where the players are already waiting, and then they have to run that one-shot for that group of players.
Wait, so do they know the media properties they're getting, or is it like
they do not know before they are given it? However, the players know what it is before it is brought out to them. So the players have time to prepare themselves and have already watched the thing and stuff like that.
Like make a character that would be good for it. Like, you know, all right, we're gonna be in the jungle, so I made it like this type of druid or ranger or something like that. Yeah.
Okay. So they've been given Jungle Book. And then they walk out there and they're like, okay, everybody introduce your characters, and they're like, so I'm playing a Tabaxi cleric whose name is Bagheera. I'm playing a bear folk bard named Baloo. That sort of thing.
So is it only one media property? Because when you said that out loud, I was picturing like you would get a whole bunch of different things. Like you'd get The Walking Dead and My Little Pony, and like
And you have to combine them.
you know,
That's so
and
much
like
better.
a Dua Lipa song.
No,
and
that's
now you
so,
have to go.
That's so
I
good.
just imagined like the Hunger Games,
Yes.
or a specific Goosebumps book, or
Yeah.
I imagine like
You are
got
given-
a thing,
oh,
a comic
okay.
or something.
You're given-
you get a whole basket
You're
of
given
stuff.
you're given one video medium, so either a TV show or a movie. You're given
Yes.
one written medium, so like a book or something like that, and one musical
And a song.
medium.
Yes.
This is the anthem of your adventure. Combine these. You have 1 hour. Combine these three things into a one shot.
Yes.
Oh my
That's
god,
that is very Iron Chef.
that's a fun journey for everybody. Yeah, that sounds really fun.
I
don't
that one
have
I
a
might
name
try.
for it. I don't have a name for it. But I really I came up with it the other day. I was like, I would watch it. Which is my
you should
my
DM that,
standard
for sure.
It is my standard for anything that like any content I want to make. My only standard is, would I spend
watch
2
that?
hours watching that?
Who has 2 hours? Really? Huh. Okay.
This is for what it's called. It's just like, this is what we get. Or what? Oh man, there was something that had to do with like a combination thing. What is it, like a group check, or something to do with like everything together? I'm trying to think of it and I can't. It just left my brain. It's gonna kill me.
Like a skill challenge or something? What?
Something like that, like because it's like it's a skill challenge, and the DM has to like combine these things, like pass these checks, like because he's got to check off like the music one, the you know, I mean, the DM is doing the thing, and then there's a combination aspect where they have to combine it all,
Right.
to make a thing. So 1 hour one shot is kind of like,
That's pretty
that
good.
just sounds like, you know, you have an hour to make
Yeah,
a one
it's-
shot with these ingredients.
Mhm.
That sounds like any of those cooking shows.
Right.
1
Yeah.
hour one shot.
I do
But then
like-
It sounds
I
like you
like-
have to run it in an hour too.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, maybe you do.
Yeah, that could also be a fun challenge. Like you got to make an hour long one shot. You have 1 hour, and you have to use these ingredients.
You said that it's like Iron Chef.
A little bit, yeah.
Call it Iron Quest.
Ooh.
Um,
I wonder if people would pick up on the reference. Is the only
Right.
thing.
like unless you like blatantly ripped off Iron Chef, like use the same font, use the like the narrator is the classic Iron Chef like intro guy.
Like it's just a sword with 3 pieces of media stuck through it, like in a cutting board or in a table. Like, I can picture the logo in my head
What's
right now.
hard with Iron Chef is because there's this element of it's a competition.
Right.
Yes.
So
Which it's not that.
Because the only way that I would see it like that, the only way I can make it competition-y is if it's like you have like, well, this would become Iron DM, where it's like essentially 2 DMs are given the same ingredients, and then they have to do a very small, short adventure one-shot scenario, and then it's like almost like a side-by-side of them both running something for the same group, different groups, if
Sure.
it's like judges or whatever the heck situation is. But then it's like that's where it becomes Iron Chefy, because it's you going against the Iron DM. You choose your opponent. You know, it's just like, oh well, Junie's real bad at like, you know, combat, so I'm gonna outshine him in combat, and then like they would do something and take the ingredients and then try to craft a better adventure by outshining my combat. You know what I mean? Something like
they're
that.
all shot
Interesting.
separately.
Yeah,
Is it
it's
judged?
independent. Well, that's what I'm imagining. If the people in the
Yeah.
in the party is essentially the judges,
Mm-hmm.
because there's always like 3 judges or whatever judges are like eating the Iron Chefs, and then the competitors, and then whoever wins wins.
I can very easily see a judge sitting there and being like, "Now, Junie, your story was great. I loved the overall arc. However, I felt that you really dropped the ball on incorporating the Justin Bieber's rendition of Baby, Baby, Baby.
Yeah. Yep.
I felt that really didn't shine through in this story.
I went with Shake It Off in my brain. I was just like, there wasn't enough Shake It Off there.
Yeah.
And I just, the haters were going to hate, but...
Yeah. I really didn't get the hit me baby one more time vibe from this adventure. Next, if we have you back, we'd really rather see the music shine a little bit more. It's a little flat in this adventure.
In response to your question, call me maybe, it's a no.
It's gonna be a no from me.
It's gonna be a no for me.
Usually, I hate complex encounters, but in this it works.
Yeah.
What's our production budget for this, by the way?
$0, the same as all of our other productions.
Yeah.
No, I like that. I like leaning into the Iron Chefness of it.
Because if it's gonna be a competition, then it's like almost like a side by side where it's like, oh, you gotta do this in like less than 15 minutes.
Oh
and
man!
Then it's, or like
at that point, you've got to. It's really got to be more like prep a 30-minute thing.
So you can fit a whole bunch into like a 90-minute episode?
Yeah, well, because you would have two people, right? So you're going to have to show both of their things. So you'd be like prep a, or it might be shorter than that, prep a 15-minute encounter, basically.
Yeah.
And present it. And then like the same group of adventurers will go through both. And then sit both judges down, or both DMs down in front of them and be like, ugh.
Yeah, logistically, there's a lot of things, like time commitment for the DMs for 2 different games.
Mm-hmm.
There's a lot of little things. But the idea of 2 people take the same thing and come up with potentially wildly different,
mm-hmm.
takes on it. And then I know there's a way to somehow make it that somebody wins without it being like trashing on somebody, and
right.
That might be more of a judge, like casting the right judges type
mm-hmm.
of situation, who can like be critical
part of the
without
joy,
being
though,
mean. It is. There's a difference being like, yo, where were you going with this? Like, there's
mm-hmm.
Criticizing like, whoa, that was a bit of a curveball. I'm not sure what you're doing. And then going like, man, you suck at this. You know what I mean? Because you don't want that to happen either. Because then
I can picture one of the judges being like, you referenced Beyonce 4 times in this adventure. Do you know she wasn't in the Black Eyed Peas?
Oh my god,
dude.
Oh my god, that's so good. Oh, that'd be so good. I feel like the response to that would be, it's just like, well, she should be.
Oh man.
In my mind, she always will be.
I'm just gonna write Iron Quest for now, unless
it's shorthand for sure.
Unless we figure something else out. Which these notes are going to be undecipherable for the most part, because I'm really just writing down idea names and relying on my brain to remember what they meant later.
I always do
if
the
only
main
this
thing,
was recorded.
Yeah, I know. For all my things, it's like whatever the thing is, and then like in my shorthand, I essentially tab and then bullet point.
I have like 3 words next to anything.
It's very
CEO to type this out or outline this literally anywhere else other than my crappy handwriting. It's just like, all right, that was the thing, and this is kind of what's about.
And Goodog makes an excellent point, which is it's all about getting GMs that can take the criticism.
Yeah, it's really about like knowing people that can go for it and are going in knowing like, oh yeah, this will be picked apart, or I know this part is like, I had to wing that. I didn't know how else to shoehorn that in, so I know that this part's gonna get hit hard. But I expected that.
I'm sorry. I knew that just having a sign on the bridge that said this bridge leads to Terabithia didn't really lend to the spirit of the book. But I got real deep down the music rabbit hole and forgot about the book until after I had prepped. So it is what it is.
I shouldn't have focused 80% of the adventure on Mrs. Frisbee and the Rats of Nim, but that book meant a lot to me as a kid, and I knew nobody else had read it, but I should have focused on things that I knew other people would get to make it more enjoyable, and I selfishly made this about me. So
oh my goodness,
that's that.
That's so funny.
I want to play in that game.
Oh boy.
Right?
Okay, so we have passed the halfway point for the show. So I'm gonna throw us into an ad for 1985 games, and then we will come back for. And then we'll start going through these things, assuming that I can figure out where I stored that ad.
Easy to.
I'm bored.
We can go scream at the cat for another hour.
Nah, I'm tired of screaming at the cat.
Shut up with that! Be bored no more with 1985 games. Enjoy their vast variety of products and help bring your tabletop to a whole new level. With easy-to-use dungeon sticky notes. The deck of stories holds prompts and adventure hooks for any setting, and thousands of cutout game pieces with their dungeon craft.
You've come all this way for nothing, fool! The princess is mine! You'll never get away with this, Balakor!
Write everything down in your Hero Notes journal and start your adventure today! Visit the World Wide Web address 1985games.com and find many helpful products such as their Dungeon Craft series, battle maps, deck of stories, miniatures, dungeon notes, and now VHS dice. Again, that's 1985games.com.
Like what you can make.
And we are back. Okay. If you haven't checked out 1985 games, go check them out. They're super cool. Use coupon code WAFFLES at checkout and you get 10% off. Also, if you haven't checked out their Dungeon Craft stuff, right now Realm's Edge, which is one of their packs that has some Feywild stuff, some building stuff, walls, that sort of stuff. Lots of cool stuff in there. Realm's Edge is currently on sale, so it's only $19.99 instead of $39.99. So if you were looking to like dip your toes into the Dungeon Craft world and seeing what that's like, go check them out. They're super super cool. Use coupon code. Wait a second. There's another thing on sale.
Wait for it.
Wait for it.
It's worth it.
The Dungeon Craft The Kitchen Sink. Which I believe was a Kickstarter stretch goal, is also on sale. Instead of being $15, it is $10. And that one has Baba Yaga's hut. It has war elephants in it. So good. So go ahead and check them out. Use the link that I dropped in the chat there. Use coupon code WAFFLES at checkout for 10% off. Otherwise, if you find a different coupon code that works out better for you, feel free to use that one. As long as you used our link that I dropped in the chat, we still get the credit for sending you there. So that helps out the show. Anyway, back into this utter nonsense we've created. We have now a list of different shows that we could create into a reality. Also, Junie, I heard you say you have like 7 or 10 more show ideas. Do you want to rapid fire pitch them?
Yeah, lightning round. We have to.
I was going to say rapid fire and no one can elaborate. No one can ask
Absolutely.
any questions. This
No
is
follow-up.
Just give here. Let me start a new section of the sheet here. Go ahead.
All right. Everything is dice. You grab the nearest thing to you, write numbers on it, and roll it for anything. All-nighter. This is the players have to stay up all night. Like they have to like go into a game with no rest at all, but the DM is well rested. And if they're tired, they have to roll con saves throughout the whole thing, and if they fail, it's basically see who dies first because your character's tired too. What else?
Do they?
I just wrote
Never mind.
golf
I
rules.
can't ask
Yep,
questions.
nope, you can't. None.
Nope, no fault.
Golf rules. Fewest hits wins. Do the heroes feel like bad guys? Basically, like they don't want to hit anything, so you want to intentionally not hit anybody. Cannon fodder. You play as minions, and it's to see who can die the fastest. And then I just wrote style points in quotes. This one I wrote in quotes. It just says Captain Planet, comma, that's it. Yep. There's another one. It's called This one's good. It's you review TTRPG products. This one's an actual just regular show, and it's called Arcana Check. I like that one.
Okay.
Magic Against
that's
Humanity.
very straight and narrow compared to
Yeah.
the rest, by the way.
Absolutely.
Yeah. No, there's some that are just normal, like not too crazy. Magic Against Humanity, and it's all spells. You have to pull a Cards Against Humanity card to flavor your spell at that time.
Okay.
Bees.
Yes, really.
Just
yeah.
bees.
The boys are back in town, and that's a mystery where the group has been in whatever town they are in, but they don't remember, and it's essentially you following the journey of them trying to figure out what the hell they did here.
That's fun.
That's
Very,
definitely the
very
one for blank
hangover.
sheets. Yeah.
Yeah,
Blank sheets
and-
for that one for sure.
And then TTRPP, and it's TTRP please, and it's essentially just LARP and like a radio drama at the table, but you get penalized if you talk out of character. So it's like the most like strictly enforced RP ever. but I really like the title. I was like TTRP please, and it's just like in character. You can't talk out of character.
Everything
Oh,
you say out
man.
loud is in character.
It has to be.
That's
Yeah.
so good.
And I think that's everything.
Is that all of them?
I think so, yeah.
Excellent. I love that. Gabe, do you have any last minute rapid fires?
I'm not even gonna come close. I was generating those as we went. The last idea I had was just the idea of everything is improvised. So if you can't gather it or bring it with you or make it on the fly, you don't get to use it during the game. Another Gen Con idea, which I'm sure the house owners that you're you're occupying their residence would really love.
Awesome. I had like 3 more. Nowhere near the number that Junie had prepped.
Yeah, wow.
Last night I was just like going.
My 3, one would be Girls Night, but it is KNI GHT, and it is a all femme cast playing as princesses who didn't wait around to be rescued, and then just became the heroes themselves, and now they're going out and rescuing all of the idiot knights who have gotten themselves into trouble. The second one is taking a one-shot that I've ran over the last few years and turning it into a campaign. It's called the Fast and the Furriest. And it is everybody is playing as the animal companions of a group of adventurers trying to break the adventurers out of jail because adventurers are dumb, and they got themselves arrested. So you're playing as the animal companions. Also, I just saw recently that for Free RPG Day, Marisha Ray and somebody else made like kind of a Honey Heist spin-off that is basically that.
Yeah, it is.
So that would work very, very well. I've been running it for like 2 years off of just the Honey Heist system that I bastardized myself. So that's very fun. And let's see, where's the last one I had? The last one I wrote, It's Just Us. It's a D&D game where everybody is playing as themselves, but they've been sucked into a magical world and they have to survive. No abilities, no powers.
I don't want to know what my
you.
own strength score is. I just don't. I don't want to see my own strength and intelligence on a character sheet. Like I feel like that there'll be a misrepresentation.
Everything is a 10.
I'm
Like,
firmly
everything is
I'm
just-
firmly aware that my only good stat would be charisma. Strength score, nothing. Constitution, horrible. Dexterity, I can barely touch my toes. But I can talk. But okay.
So you're a warlock for sure.
I would go bard.
Yeah.
Just I wouldn't make a deal. I'm smart enough not to do that.
I'm just intelligent enough to say no.
Okay. So, we're going to choose 3 things from this list. It could be one that we've already sort of expanded on. It could be one from this list of rapid fires at the end here. But we're going to choose 3 of them to sort of talk about and flesh out into a more cohesive product. So
Need to recap for
yeah,
sure.
we'll run through these. First up is butter dice. Just rolling things difficultly.
I already forgot about that one. Okay.
Second is Knights of Bajablast, which was you're playing as Taco Bell themed paladins in service or adventurers in service of the Platinum Dragon Bajablast and going through Tyranny of the Dragons. CDR, competitive dice rolling. Self-explanatory. Paint Me Dead, which I did not write any notes next to because I thought I would remember what it was, and I don't.
That's the paintball. The paintball thing shot at you. And
Yes.
then
Yeah.
You had to not be covered in paint to that's your health.
Yes, that's very good. Paint Me Dead. Junie Ruiz presents Spicy Boys. Oops, All GMs. DM's Notes. Total Party Control. I feel like we've talked about this grouping extensively.
I think the DM's Notes and the Total Party Control, I think those were like the same thing. I think
they're sort of linked. Long Rest Rotation, also known as Where Were We, also known as Pen Pals, also known as 7 other things that were dropped into the chat. That's the one where we rotate characters in GM. Or no, we rotate characters, the GM stays the same. Performance check, that's the one where the GM rolls to see how well they describe the scene, and the players have to charade to show what they're trying to do. Iron Quest, that's the one where 2 GMs have to compete to create an adventure based on random ingredients. Then we get into the rapid fires. Everything is Dice, All-Nighter, Golf Rules, Cannon Fodder, Captain Planet, Review TTRPGs, also known as Arcana Check, Magic Against Humanity, The Boys Are Back in Town, TTRP Please, Girls Night, Fast and the Furriest, It's Just Us. I think my votes to talk more about, because some of these I feel like we've already talked extensively about. I know what I would choose. What are you guys leaning towards? If you had to pick 3.
Gosh, there's so many.
Can I add one more that I realized I didn't say?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
This I meant to say this earlier when we told Gabe to leave the room, but it's called Clear the Room, and it's if you fail a check, you have to leave whatever room you're in and go to a different room. So everybody has to play mobile, because then like you have to physically just uproot whatever you're doing to go somewhere else. And I just called it Clear the Room, and I just noticed like, oh, I didn't say that one.
Oh man,
I would never.
I love the concept of like with that you could also have them like they need to actually do things in order to succeed on checks. So you're like, you want to roll an athletics check? Absolutely. Go leave the room. You're going to jump as far as you can. See how far you can jump.
I turned this into just a slight inconvenience.
You want to do an acrobatics check? Do a handstand right now.
The DC is like the task you're given from the GM, like how difficult it is.
Oh man!
This from like a slight inconvenience to like 8th grade gym class.
Yeah, like do 30 push-ups. No, I fail.
Gabe,
It's fine.
Gabe Zegron has arrived.
Out of the night, when the full moon is bright, comes the horseman known as Zegron. This bold renegade marks a Z with his blade. The Z that stands for Zegron.
Zegron, always a pleasure to have you, my friend. I love seeing your message every time it pops up. Which is usually anytime Gabe is a guest, I get to see that message, which really means I should just invite Gabe on more.
I mean, it happens sometimes.
You're already on the show once a week.
That's true. I'm gonna
More
be back
more
later
than that.
tonight.
More than that seems excessive. I don't even want to be on the show that many times a week. That's a joke. I love you all. Okay, so what are we feeling? What are the three here?
Yeah. I mean, if I had to vote for one right out of the gate, it's definitely Oops All GMs.
Oops All
I'm loving
GMs
that
is
one.
very good. Yes.
I do like that one a lot. Again, would not want to be on the show. I think I also like Iron Quest.
Okay.
And then probably if we're saying that the like where you wake up and you don't remember anything and you're piecing back together is also combined with the idea of like having a blank sheet and figuring out who you are in the process. Like, are those the same idea or are they separate?
They were separate, but like I think combining things, that sounds.
I think if
Yeah,
they're
we can
together,
combine stuff.
yeah, I think if you mash those together, that one's really, really strong.
So
I
which
think those
one?
are my
Which one
three.
was that?
Whatever the like hangover version was, but
The-
combining it with the idea of a blank sheet.
Pen pals.
that
Sure.
was the boys. The boys are back in town where like there's a mystery and they don't know anything about them. They were there, but they don't remember anything.
Mm-hmm.
Combine that with D&D bingo,
Yeah.
Okay.
where the goal was to fill in your sheets. Because that way there's a goal to the adventure as well. At the
Sure.
same time.
Yeah. Maybe
what-
get a bonus if you fill in your sheet first or something.
Yeah.
What are you thinking, Junie? What are your top three off this list?
I think the Oops All GMs.
Mhm.
Good.
I wrote down first to laugh equals out. I don't know if that was still a mechanic that anybody was talking about doing, like last GM
I
standing.
still like that.
Um,
I think that's very
good.
fun.
There's a lot of things that I think would be really good to just do for the sake of like, haha, this is funny. But
Yeah.
as far as like,
There's a lot of very good like let's do this one time
exactly, yeah,
ideas
And
on
never
here.
again. Yeah.
yeah. But this one's the dumb one. I really like cannon fodder, only because everybody gets to play as like as a kobold
Mhm.
or like a dumb like thing that is always like you pad out like the CR. Like that's me. Like I use methods for everything.
Sure.
So basically, if it's something there's a big bad, but I know they're just gonna surround it.
Mhm.
I always have like the minions,
Methods.
the soldiers,
Right.
or whatever. But it's just like you play as those guys, but you know you're gonna die. So it's what if it's just like who can die the fastest,
Yeah.
and then who can die the coolest. type
I
of thing.
ran a stream before we were ever doing Warlocks. I ran a stream just in my Discord channel a couple of years back that was a meat grinder dungeon where everybody played as a goblin, but then anytime somebody died, a new person would take their place as like a new goblin who had just joined the fight, and so it was just constantly rotating with like this group of different people, and like they would roll to see like what type of goblin they got to play. It was very fun. So I'm very in favor of let's play a game where everyone's gonna die.
Oh
Is
yeah.
this like Gen Con? What are we gonna try to go for, or just in general?
I think in general, but like thinking of stuff that would work for like what do we want to record at Gen Con, I think
Then
also goes
then
hand in hand.
It's Spicy Boys.
I do 100% want to have Spicy
just
Boys
if I
recorded
put
at
my
Oh, that's
chips
fair.
on
Like if we
something.
get to eat, I will hardcore vote for that. I like cannon fodder too if each of the players has multiple characters they're trying to kill. Like you get a 6-pack of kobolds. Here, go. Now make your way.
Well, the way I envisioned it is like who can die the fastest. I envision it like where you shouldn't be able to die, but it's one of those things in a movie where you're just like, dang, that guy died real fast. How do you do that? And it's like one of those where it's like, ooh, that could fall on them, but it shouldn't. You done did the thing. So it's kind of like everybody's intentionally trying to be a little dumb and
Right.
lean into like the incompetent thing of it. It's just like who can be the most incompetent on purpose.
Okay. So the scenario is designed not to kill them.
Correct. It should be difficult to die.
Can I pitch something for this?
Mm-hmm.
Have you played Mario Party?
Yes.
What if the objective is reach the end, but you also give out random stars for like died because a giant block fell on you. Here you go. Like you give out random like points that way, and then you determine.
Hate that mechanic so much.
It's the worst. I hate it so much.
I just literally wrote Mario Party rules next to it.
Yeah. That could be very, very fun. Like most creative death, absolutely, Zegron. Like whoever died in the most spectacular means gets a star. But then you can also change what those like random points assigned at the end are every time, so nobody would know exactly what they're actually playing
like, on
towards.
my end, I know I have died first, and then that person would get a star. But then there's also like managed to die like. Mid dance, like something really
died
dumb. Like I have
died the most number of times.
Traveled the most number of grid squares.
Went the longest without dying. Didn't die. Like you can assign points for all of it.
Surprise seduction.
Fastest death caused by a group mate, says Zekron.
Two for one. Took another character with you when you died.
Ooh, yeah, that's good.
Right.
It'll feel very like
fire sale. Accidentally trapped a teammate in the flaming room.
What it should be is like, I have these star things outlined, and we'll see if anybody gets them. But I think what it'll end up becoming like very whose line is it anyway, where it's gonna feel like the points don't matter.
Yeah.
Because then you're gonna think of like, it's just like, oh no, this was hilarious. And for the most left-handed kills or the most left-handed deaths, Hunter. You kept mentioning you were doing it left-handedly. I don't know why, but that's a thing.
Oh man.
There's a lot of things that are like fun little one-shots, but then like what can keep going? I imagine like Cannon Fodder could be a different cliche base or cliche den hideout, whatever.
Yeah,
and
it works. It works well as like short form, like rapid content. Yeah.
Competitive DMs like that can be a neutral party has made the thing, or we're all running something that we may or may not be familiar with, and then it rotates. Spicy Boys is like that I'm tired of watching shows that are the party is doing this. The party is gathering the crystal from Zarganel and transporting it to there, and they're trying to stop it. It's just like, what is different? What makes your show different? That's what I mean. It's just like we eat spicy wings, and it is painful and physically taxing to play this game. Yeah, we are hurting ourselves to play this for your amusement. It's just like, we are not supposed to die, but we're trying to die. You know what I mean? Like something like that. All-nighter. We have not slept, and neither have our characters. You can see the exhaustion. There is a good all-nighter. We skip Hunter's turn 5 times because he is full-blown asleep.
All-nighter is on my list. Like that one is hilarious to me, and also very easy to do at Gen Con.
Exactly, because we will come home exhausted and we'll be like, "Yo, man, I haven't slept in like 2 days." And it's like, "Oh, I took a nap today. Put on your D&D pants. We're gonna go on an adventure." And it's just like, okay.
Please. You don't.
Yeah, please no.
Junie wouldn't let me go to bed last night. He set an alarm on my phone that went off every 15 minutes.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
But I for all nighter, I do picture like every so often in real time or every so often in game, everybody do a con check, and you are getting progressively more exhausted. And it's like eventually you will die. You will die from exhaustion. That was my original thing. If it's just a matter of like you'll have a point or two of exhaustion and you're all really tired, and that's the fun part. But I also imagine it's just like you're all dying. You're all dying from literal exhaustion.
I love the concept of like, okay, you and the character haven't slept, but you need to get through this thing. Because if you take a long rest, it only gets rid of 1 point of exhaustion, right? So do something like the character had like 4 points of exhaustion, but like they get, because they were like riding hard through the nights trying to get to this place on time, they get to the thing on time, and then like they get there, they have to rest up in order to get their like spell slots back and stuff like that, so they're gonna take one like long rest to get all their stuff back. They still have 3 points of exhaustion though going into this dungeon or whatever it's gonna be, and also the player hasn't slept in 36 hours.
Yeah.
I'm sure there's some way you could do the math so that statistically you knew they would all fail enough checks to get to 6 points of exhaustion by the end of the session. I'm sure there's a way to do it.
Well, to keep it on like a timely matter, as far as like if this was to keep it within an X amount of time, if it becomes the adventure is designed in a way where it's like this could take half hour, an hour, and then with vamping, God knows else, it'll take a little longer. But if you make a real world, every 15 minutes, I'm going to make you all roll a con save. It doesn't matter how much time has passed in actual game. I'm going to make you all roll, and if you fail, you are just, some people slip faster than others. You know what I mean? So it just could be like there is a real world. So that way it doesn't have to be that real world tired Junie would have to play for three plus hours.
Right.
And then it's like
So is your goal that manageable. They do die at the end of the episode?
Well, you're trying not to, you know
Sure.
what I mean? So they're trying to. Have you ever just been so tired where you're like, I just need to get this done as quickly as possible so I can get to bed? And that's the mentality for the player and the character. I need to get this done with as little fuck ups as possible so I can go to bed. And it's
sleep.
like, and it's getting worse, and then you're just like, I'm dead. I'm gonna go to permanent sleep. I'm dead. Like, that's it. You know what I mean? That's how it goes.
You would just see in the back, like, player who died just walks over and curls up on the couch and goes to bed.
You're going to sleep one way or another. You know what I mean? So it's just full blown. It gets worse, and you're trying because there'll be the motivation of like they know they need to or want to, whatever the thing is. And we're recording this, and it's like, I'm gonna fuck up the recording if I go to bed first, so I need to try. I need to finish this. But then you're also like, oh god, let me just keep rolling, and let's see if the sweet release of the darkness takes me. You know, it's just like you just but like a real world, so that way it's to keep it manageable, because then it's just like, at the end of however much time, that could potentially amass this many thingamajigs, like you're just all dead. You all didn't do it. Some stories end like that. Some stories end with it didn't happen,
and everyone died. Yeah.
Unfortunately, your body gave out. Like it's not, you tried, you didn't, not that you didn't care. It's not that they were better. It's just that this time your body just couldn't do it.
So it's gonna end on a really upbeat note. Is what you're saying.
Yeah. It'll end with a nice pillow. Like, yeah. But
I like that.
That could suck. I don't know. Like I just thought
it's worth one episode.
Yeah, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Or just seeing like, oh man, it's like a once a month thing where it's just like, or every other month where it's just like, all right, I primed my body for utter exhaustion for this game.
I almost want them to live. Like that's the funny thing.
I
mean, ideally,
hope everybody makes their checks and doesn't, or somebody has lesser restoration or something to keep them, like, essentially that's a 5-hour energy drink or something to keep them going. And that might be a fun little thing where it's just like, all right, Junie, if you make this, I'll give you this real life 5-hour energy. And then it's like, it's something to give them, take a point off or something.
There's always one character or one player probably that's like super wired the entire time.
Uncharacteristically, like they're just like,
that would 100% be me. Of like, I've been drinking caffeine all day, like for the last couple of days, to make sure that I am alive for this, and yeah, get to the end, and I'm still going to be chugging monsters, to make sure that I have enough energy to stay moving.
Yeah.
No, I like All Nighter. I think All Nighter is definitely on the list for Gen Con. A, because we're already going to be there, in person. And B, it will be very easy to get sleep-deprived people.
Yeah. Yeah, it's like
Gonna go ahead and book my
I just
hotel
imagine
room?
the message going out to people. It's like, yo, has anybody not slept in 2 days? If so, who would be willing to use that?
Right.
And it's just like real, like, what do you mean use that? You know, like,
Yeah.
what is it like?
Put a
we need
message
use
out to
that.
all of our creator friends who are
Yeah,
like,
it's like, we
hey,
need-
have
we need
any of
people
you
who
had
are
a
as-
do any of you have a roommate who has been snoring for the last 2 days and you haven't gotten a moment of sleep and feel like you're gonna fall over? Do you want to play D&D right now?
Would you?
Yeah.
Who hasn't slept and is a sucker for punishment? Please, please DM me. Wait, that sounds real. That's a different message right there. Who's a sucker for punishment and hasn't slept? DM me.
Oh man. Okay, I like All Nighter. All Nighter is on the list. Spicy Boys, I think is within one more of us sitting down and fleshing out Spicy Boys. It'll be like ready to go. We just have to figure out the basic mechanics. I think
here's something that I've noticed with a lot of these things where they're good in short bursts, and there's an idea I had a long time ago, and I haven't said it because it's one of those like I haven't workshopped it enough because it was real. But essentially something along the lines of like starts out normal, and then everything after that is the DM rolls in the beginning, and essentially like a genre wheel of things or a genre table, and if it's 1980s movie or Valley Girl, then the entire world is just flavored that way, but the characters
for that
stay the
episode.
same. Yes.
So the characters stay the same completely, or they are their characters now set into that setting.
I was always gonna determine either leave that up to the character if they're also Valley Girled, or if like it's just like the king who spoke like this before. It's like seriously guys, you're ruining everything. You know what I mean? It's just like they full blown change. But anyway, there's a lot of things here that I've liked to keep things concise, a time element, like a real world time element, and doing something where it's like a roll for flavor. I called it roll for flavor was the thing. So what's the flavor of tonight's episode? But also it's just like if the flavor of the episode changes throughout, whatever the thing is, a lot of these things are good flavoring for a current encounter, skill challenge, battle, whatever it is. But things like the buttered dice, everything is dice, the golf rules, clear the room,
Almost like conditions that you apply to the players.
Exactly. But there's a lot of things where it's like the random element of this episode is there is something that will flavor the next bit, and we know that it's going to change, so it keeps everybody on their toes.
It changes throughout the same episode too.
Yeah. What started with like this was the whole thing, but then I'm looking at this and I'm like, a lot of these things could be combined.
Sure.
And I'm like, what would be the unifying, the glue? And it would be something like there's a role for like this is gonna be flavored like this. Now it's like this is now harder. Now all of you have to put on your oven mitts and try to roll your dice now. And then it's like that's where the hard to roll type of thing happens there. It's just like, all right, you need to improvise. Whether or not you have proficiency with improvised weapons, grab whatever and then write numbers on it and roll. Everything is dice right now, and then chuck it, and then just see what a stapler 4, 3, 2, and then chuck it, and then boom, and then like that's it. But something where it's just like it'll fit the theme of whatever's happening and flavor it and potentially be funny. But that's just trying to combine and shoehorn a lot of things into one idea.
Sure. You can do it though. It's very Charlie and the Chocolate Factory, but I could be into it.
I do like the element of like the setting and everything sort of shifting and changing, but keeping the same characters in the story. And like the story is the same ongoing story, but like you
part of the driving force would be like
of it.
What's happening, because I imagine I would leave them aware, you know what I mean? It's just kind of like almost like the world is glitching. It's like what's happening, and that's the plot essentially, is them trying to figure out what's happening. But the goofiness for us,
it's got a
like,
multiversal feel of like every time they're going into like a different version of the same world.
I mean, that would be a really fun Spelljammer campaign to run.
Ooh.
Where they're just
Yes,
moving
it
from
would.
like almost world to world, and each place is themed, or you just spin the wheel each time, and that's the world you're in, that adventure or that session. And yeah, you could continue spinning it, I suppose, if they leave early, or
some real Quantum Leap stuff.
yeah.
Oh yeah,
Oh, Quantum Leap, good pull.
that's a very good pull.
Because I'm just imagining them, they're still them, you know what I mean? So it's just like,
Yeah.
will the next one be the next leap home type of thing? Like the first one is the first one, and then they're trying to get back to theirs.
Like
I like that.
there's a very, very thin like line on the wheel that is just like home. And they're gonna do as many episodes as it takes to land on home.
That'd be fun. It's a fun mini series, but like the mini series is like in quotes, because it's like it's really just like as long as until we get there. We're trying. You're on the journey with us.
Eventually, it's gotta land there.
This might be open 4 episodes.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay.
The first episode, you spin it and it just lands back on home, and you're like,
Yeah.
nothing
Well,
happened. End of story.
I would have a contingency of like literally just like like, all right, we have to get lunch and make sure we brush the horses.
Your mission
Just real
today
boring
is to
stuff.
bring the stagecoach to the wood shop to repair the wheels. What sort of wacky adventures await our heroes on the route?
It'll be so unfunny that it's hilarious. It's gonna be like aggressively boring.
Wow.
I
Don't want to watch that.
I want for Gen Con, I would love to do either or both. But I think Oops All GMs or Long Rest Rotation, where were we Pen Pals. I think either of
I have
those
5 names. I still don't know
because the chat threw out a bunch of them,
Okay.
and we didn't land on one.
Yeah.
But I think either or both of those would be very fun to do at Gen Con.
Yeah. No, I'm down.
Okay.
I'm looking forward to this.
This is
How far away is Gen Con? I need to
a month from today, I think.
gird myself. A month from today?
I think so.
Oh my gosh.
Let me verify.
What happened?
I know, it was so long. Yeah, it's literally a month from today. August 4th
We
is
booked
the
it in
first
like
day of Gen
May
Con.
or something. It
Yeah.
feels like, oh my
We've been
gosh.
working on it for a while. But oh man.
All right. Well,
Okay.
we did it, everybody. We came up with great ideas. Stuff like buttered dice.
Dude, I still love buttered dice. Have you ever seen there are companies that sell sets of polyhedrals, but they are made out of chocolate?
I've seen molds, and I was like,
Yeah.
you could just put butter in it.
You could
You could?
100% have like everybody has a set of dice made out of butter or chocolate or whatever.
I have
something
dice
that
molds
will
that I never
something that will
used.
melt. And then like you're playing, but as you're rolling dice, they're gonna melt. It's gonna get harder and harder to like read the numbers on them.
Oh my god, yeah. Yeah.
And you can you're only allowed to play the numbers that are unmelted.
Yeah. if you can't tell what that number is, it has to be re-rolled.
Oh.
There's a fun one-page RPG that I love that I want to play that's like that, where it's you take a napkin or like a paper towel and write like 3 powers on it, and then there's like a generic like this is the bad thing, and then you all put a plate in front of you and a piece of ice and drop the paper towel, and as the ice is melting, once it hits the ink of whatever you wrote, you lose that power because they're going like and Back to the Future, like erasing time or whatever. So
Interesting.
it's a race against the ice cube like, and that's a mechanic. It's like, so it's just like we're talking through this, and like you lost your invisibility, so you just don't talk about that anymore.
Right.
You don't have it anymore.
Somebody gets up and goes to the bathroom, and you're like, "You're an idiot. Why are you slowing down? We're running out of time."
Yeah. Like, yeah, but like I like it when there's real work, because you know,
Real
it
world
keeps
time
everything
to it. Yeah,
going.
absolutely.
When there's something to show, like it's not just dice rolling and you have to be a good, like, no, it's, part of this is like, you know, coming up with this and that pressure and like living with the repercussions of like, this is what it is now. So
I like that.
Yeah.
Awesome, guys.
I'll bring
will.
the dice molds. We might do this.
Yeah. We'll have ideas and stuff ready to go, and we're gonna record a bunch of absolute nonsense at Gen Con.
So so fun.
we keep getting like more people that are like, hey, you have room in that Airbnb, and we're like, yeah, we do.
House
And
is getting busy.
it's full.
What are we at? Are we allowed to say? I don't know how many we're at. Like, just general number. I don't.
It's got to be a lot by now.
It's quite a few, because it's a big space.
Do I have a bed? I'm like, wait, do I have a bed? Right?
Probably not.
I have no idea.
Oh God.
Let's see here. Junie, you have a queen memory foam pull-out couch.
Dude,
Okay.
Christine, are you have the best seat in the house?
Unless
right there.
everybody's on the couch, then I have to be the one to go like, everybody off the couch. I need to sleep.
That's a
There's
good
also
Yeah.
going to be a bunch of like air mattresses and stuff.
It's probably in a bedroom though.
If that's what the case is, yeah, then that won't be crazy. If it's like the living room couch, then it's like, oh man, I'm gonna be that guy.
That would be terrible.
If it is in the living room, we would make sure that like that couch is not like, we would just leave it as your bed.
Well,
That's
no, 'cause
worse
then I'm the
somehow.
ass. Yeah.
There-
I'm somehow
well, no,
the
'cause
guy
there's-
that's like,
'cause
we
there's
can't
two-
play in the living room.
There's
'cause
two
he
living
needs his
rooms.
Bed, the
There's two
princess.
living rooms, because it's technically a duplex. So it has like the two sides of a house, but we're renting out both sides.
Oh Jesus Christ!
So we have like a full house, and so there's two living rooms. So we can have like one that is set aside as like, this is actually Junie's bedroom. Like we'll probably put some other air mattresses in there, and then
weird at all.
it'll all be everything else. At last count, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. I think we have 12 people in the Airbnb.
Wow.
What's capacity?
At
Is it
last
14?
count, I think 14.
I think 14's capacity. So you're still a little. You got room.
Yeah.
Cram some more in there.
We can get a couple more people, but that's also like there's a couple of people that we haven't necessarily heard back from,
Gotcha.
and stuff like that. So,
And not that we're going to be bringing people over, but also there might just be like people that chill. Like I feel like.
yeah, well, it's only like a mile from the convention center.
It's
Yeah.
close enough that that's probably going to happen.
Yeah, like
and
I
we're
know.
not gonna be throwing parties,
I know,
you know,
Gabe,
but-
you're staying at the hotel, right?
Oh
But,
yeah, I who's a princess now? I definitely got a hotel room because I was like, I'm not doing it. I'm not.
But so you'll be at the hotel, but like it's still like a mile. So
I'll be
like
nearby,
you can walk over to us.
Everything is within 10 minutes. So.
Yeah. Anyway, I'm very excited for Gen Con. It is going to be absurd. I cannot wait to just film absurd content the entire time. And I think the only person left from Hooligans that we need to convince to go is Emily. I think everybody else from Hooligans is going.
I thought she said she couldn't. Like I thought there was something that
she
that
she
in
said
advance she knew.
She said originally she was going, but but now she's coming down for like something else at some other
Yeah,
time.
that's what I thought was happening. Yeah.
And so she was like, oh, I don't really want to like drive down another time. And I was like, well, that makes sense. But then everybody from Hooligans, because originally it was like there were maybe 3 of us that were going, and then everybody except for Emily has said that they'll be there. And so now Emily's like, I mean, I could go. I could figure it out. So she might be there, but we need to. She should go. It'll be fun.
She should go.
Time. All right.
That'll
be fun. It'll be good.
Let's see here. If you are in the chat right now and you haven't joined the Discord yet, join the Discord. Here's Discord link. Go join it. It's awesome. We sometimes do things that drop memes in there and stuff. Also, if you go in there, you can see there are images of the Roddy Yes and Roddy No pins that we made for the hooligans. So I will have those available. I believe the packaging should arrive like today or tomorrow sometime. Probably tomorrow, I think. Sometime around there. But we should be getting the packaging soon, and then I'll be able to post a final product image. But I will have those at Gen Con. So if you are planning on being at Gen Con, you'll be able to get those. We also are in the process of figuring out how to make merch orderable online. It's just another project that I haven't put time into yet. Soon.
Trademark.
Eventually.
Yep.
Oh, man. But thank you all for coming out. We will be back later tonight. At least Gabe and I will be for Hooligans. And then, Junior, you're muted.
I said I'll be there too. I'll be the voice of God randomly. It's like, oh no. I'll speak for the audience.
I mean, Junie, I don't know what you're doing tonight, but we are down a player.
We do have a player down.
Are we doing the pen pals thing already? I'm be like, yo, send me your character sheet and some notes.
No, this would be
I will be you. I will be the split personality of whoever's not there.
No, I mean, if you're interested in coming, I've got a character that I was planning on introducing as an NPC, but I could very easily have him just be you.
That sounds like a must.
You could come play.
I'll see what's going on. I don't know what we're doing, but I'll let you know.
Yeah, I'll hit you up after we get off. But we'll be live with Hooligans tonight at 8:00 Eastern, and then back with Warlocks on Thursday. Until then, have a great rest of your week, everybody. Remember to do something ridiculous, embrace the nonsense, and we'll be back soon. Have a good one.
See ya.
Bye.